Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. In case you are wondering why I'm constantly coming back to you, is because I got a message to deliver to you, a message of freedom, a message of liberation. I got a truth that needs to be expressed and made known to the public. What I'm saying is this: we have succumbed to a lie. The lie will change the world if you do not stop the liar. But you just can't stop the liar. You must start proclaiming truth. And you must continue, not in words only, but follow with deed. You know, one of the greatest lies that ever been told, and that is that this earth is carnal, that it's material, that it's not to experience God, but a place where God is absent, so to speak. And that if you come into a mentality that would allow you to accept God as a way of life, then you must have a certain kind of conduct in this life. And having done that, you can experience heaven after you die from this life. And they got different churches all over America to teach you this basic message. They got different ways in speaking it. They use the same book, but they got different ways of speaking the message so it can get the various different groups of people to accept it. Everybody's accepting one or the other. And these institutions that have been established are paid by the government through the thing called it's tax exempt. You get away with it. The 501c, you know that that's where you get your payment for messing up the minds of the human race that allows them to stay in bondage all this time. But the message, ladies and gentlemen, that I'd like to share with you is plain and simple. This earth was made for human beings to experience heaven here on earth. And the reason we don't is because we bought into a lie. Just like what is happening in America today. When Trump came on the scene spreading a lie, you see all the Republicans and stuff falling in line with the lie. Even when they know he's lying, they just fall in line with it anyway. Others are quite aware that he's lying, but they figure they go that way because this influence is going to change and they want to be in the power. Others are just pure ignorant, believing everything he says. That's how the lie works. That's how the lie works. And you can't just stand up and say, look how bad the lie is. You can stay here. We're not that bad. You cannot do that and expect to accomplish anything. What I'm trying to say is Republicans might be taking you down the hill real fast. The Democrats, what are you thinking you're doing by sitting here talking about we're not that bad? Look what you're losing every day. Is this the best you can do? Is this the best you can do? Now, this is a political season. I would say if anybody's going to vote for the Democrats, at least they're not chasing you down the hill so fast, but only because they might not be that hard to get. What I mean by hard to get, to wake up. What I mean by that, they have not gone into this deep darkness that the Republicans are being led into. But what the message is to change this idea that God cannot be experienced on this life. Like as I indicated, it was made that human beings could live here. But the lie came around and said, you can't see God, so we will replace God. They will have been known as kings and queens and pharaohs and presidents or world trades organizations. It's been known as every kind of thing. But I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, without doubt, they represent human beings. They represent superiority over human beings. Some of them are white supremacists. Some of them are black supremacists. Some of them are American supremacists. Some of them are other nations supremacists. Everywhere you got the same thing going on. Under a different title, but it's the same thing, the same outcome. Man over human beings deciding punishment. I don't care whether it's a democracy or whether it's a dictatorship. In God's sight, it's the same thing. Why? Because it all allows for this hell to exist on earth, where this earth was made for us as human beings to live as though we were in heaven, where all of the resources that would be essential or necessary for us to do the things that we can imagine that we want done, that which we have done, and that which we will imagine to do in the future. And because we, the people, would benefit from some or all of these things, we, each of us, are engaged or can engage ourselves in the process of causing a manifestation in such an abundance that none of us would have to be denied any of these things. And the great gift is that we can choose what we want to do. That which we do gives us our greatest joy, makes us feel happy, makes it possible for every dreamer to have that dream realized in this life, on this earth, at this time, if you know the truth. And stop following people like Trump. Stop following people like Putin, and stop following people like people in North Korea. Stop following people who hold bondage over you, keeping you a slave, knowing that they will kill you if you get out of line. You got to wake up and realize that God is the true God, not the government. Truth is that which will free you. The lie keeps you in bondage. So we've been in bondage. This is an effort to share with you the truth. I made a note here. Let me see if I left anything out. Well, one thing I did want to mention, abortion. Abortion is a hot issue. Abortion is a very hot issue. How do I feel about abortion? Well, personally, I am against abortion. Why? Because I believe that every individual, boy or girl, that's coming into this world is bringing something absolutely fantastic to humanity, and something that we so dearly need. But I also believe that the decision as to whether that individual comes into this world or not is really dependent upon the one that's carrying it for 9 months or more, who will carry it for 9 months or more. For whatever their decision might be, it is their decision and not mine or any man or any other person to make, except the mother that's carrying this child. Now, to the degree that I object to abortion, I take that and I let it be something that energizes me to find out all of the other reasons why mothers might decide to abort their child. Maybe it's because they can't take care of them. This is something they didn't plan, but this is a burden. Maybe it's because they would be belittled and put aside and talked and castigated. Maybe it's something else other than a health problem or rape. Or maybe it's something other than incest. Maybe it's just a reason that exists that we as a human, as people who don't approve of abortions, can do something about. So they don't have to worry about, can we take care of the kid? Will the child be able to go to school? Will this be accessible to the child? Yes, it will. So that's the role that I see playing in my objection to it, but never judging anything beyond that. And so I think I don't have any shame in that statement. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me close. I want to close by saying this. We are conditioned to be slaves. Every last one of us are slaves if we are not free in doing what we were made to do. Yes, we know we are trapped by the things that we require in life to survive, have been robbed and put a price tag on it. And if you don't have the money, you can't get it. And if you want to rock the boat, they can stop economically deprive you of anything. Yeah, that's captive. That's bondage. And if you really withdraw, you can be, sanctioned out. Your whole population can just go bananas. Why? Because this is the rule of men. And this makes it, should be obvious, that a power that recognizes every last one of you, that only requires, this is the basic requirement. Here it is. The basic requirement is this, is that you, okay, have a good one, is that you recognize that the power is in creation. The power is in that you can't see, but is responsible for everything that you can see. That is the power. and that you honor that power, that you respect that power with all of your ability to do anything. That's the number one concern that is required of every human being in the faith, that you honor God, a power you can't see, above all these powers you can see. And what is the second? The second is that you care and honor your neighbor. And your neighbor is anybody outside of you, whether you've seen them, will see them or not. They are other human beings. That you honor and respect them, just as you would honor and respect yourself or require that others honor and respect you. That's key. That's key. That means loving God and loving everybody else. And you living your life like they are important because they allow you to give. They allow you to have purpose. And the purpose is real. And it's heaven on earth. We don't have to lie, don't have to cheat, don't have to steal, don't have to kill. But now you hear about all of the troubles that Donald Trump has been going through ever since he's been on the scene. You might even go back when he started trying to be somebody. You'll hear about his failures. You'll hear about the people who have written books about all of the stuff that he's tried to do. You'll hear about all this corruption that he's been associated with. You'll hear about all the ugliness that's rising up across the country is in response to this fever that he's brought up on the scene. All of that, men chasing after money and more money, or just to get some clicks, just to be heard. When a message about God's heaven, the answer to all of your prayers, at least I've been asking people for several days to take the message and share it with others. I've been asking if any social media outlet would hear this, at least mention it to the people, at least let them know that there is a message out here, not just words, but even documented, program, plan that would produce, not sitting up before you saying, send me, like politicians do. I can do this. No, this is a blueprint. This is an expression of principles that actually produce exactly what it set out to do. But did you hear anything about it last night or today or yesterday? Are you going to hear anything about it today or tonight? Is anybody going to say, where is this coming from? And what is this message about? Let us go into it and see if somebody out here trying to rip somebody off. Let us check it out. Anybody saying that? No. Why? Because they know you've been programmed not to even care, not to even believe that this is possible. So why should they bring it to you, especially without getting paid? And who knows, you might listen. And if you listen, then that's threatening their bottom line. Because freedom frees you from this hell. So think about these kinds of things, ladies and gentlemen. What role do you want to play in the process? Thank you so very much for this time. Till next time, Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for you. Till next time. Bye-bye.